Hello there dear yoginis and yogis, and welcome to your class with me today. I'm Sarah Bargijan. If you haven't already subscribed, please do, and if you enjoy this yoga class, please do give me the thumbs up afterwards, and do leave any questions or comments that you might have in the comments box below. And if you're not a patron, do consider becoming one, because then you get a lot more support from me, and the link to all the information on that is in the comments box below as well. So on to the class. This is going to be a class specifically for people who run or who've started running. I have noticed over the last year or two that I've been running out of puff easily, going upstairs and going on long walks with the dog. So I decided a couple of weeks ago to download the Couch to 5K app, and I've just come into about the middle of the second week now. And it's changing my yoga practice a little bit, because I am noticing that with this running, even though it's not very much, I am still really feeling that my legs and my hips are getting a little bit stiffer, perhaps a little bit more muscle tone is growing there, and there's a little bit of tightness also in the upper back and the shoulders. So I'm going to lead you through the sequence that I've been leading myself through pretty much every day in my self-practice, which has been influenced by this new running that I'm doing. So please come up to standing to begin with. We're going to work a lot on the hips to begin with, particularly on one side and then the other side, because I want you to feel the comparison, having stretched, mobilized, and also strengthened a little bit one side, how the other side then feels in comparison. So with your feet together and your hands on your hips, come into a standing thigh stretch. So bend your right leg, reach around with the right hand, laser point that knee down as much as you can rather than winging it out to the side, so you get an even stretch in the inner and outer quads. And lift your chest, separate those right toes, and then see if you can bring that right knee back a little bit more. So you're increasing the stretch you're giving your right thigh. This is also really good for balance. Bring your left arm out to the side as needed to help you stay. And squeeze in this left hip, so you're working on stability and strength here on this side. Now take your hand away, but keep your right foot floating. Hamstring curl here, a little bit of strength work going on. Then bring that foot down, and we'll do the other side. So thigh stretch on the left leg, bend the left leg, separate the toes from the get-go just so you get a nice tone down the side of the shin. Squeeze your right leg strong. Press in that right hip, so don't swing out to the side with that hip. Really try and keep nice and strong stability around the right leg. Then bring that left knee back. Push the left hip point, the iliac crest, forwards. You're sparking those back toes, separating those back toes, and try and keep your breathing even. Each inhalation and exhalation long and calm. Take your hand away, keep the foot high. If you get cramping, bring the foot straight down, then bring your foot down. Now, from here, bend both of your knees, bring your hands to your hips, and come into a standing figure four. We're not going to hold this one for as long, because we're going to do this again seated in a moment. This is just to kind of get a little bit of mobility work going on in the hips, a little bit of ease and stretch from having done the standing thigh stretch. So let's go straight to the other side. Bend both knees again, left leg, separate the toes. Push this shin into the shelf of the right thigh quite firmly. Squeeze your bottom. Come up again, bring the left foot down, and then step wide. So make sure you're facing the long edge of your mat. Parallel your feet, make sure your feet are even. You don't have one foot more forward than the other. And then interlace your hands behind your back, press your knuckles down and lift your heart. Also when we're running, quite often we're in a gripping, slight rounding of the upper back. So it's nice to do some back bends to release that a little bit. Bring your hands a little higher if you can. Then separate your fingers and bring your fingertips ahead, underneath your shoulders. Keep your arms straight. Keep pushing your feet down, lift up your sitting bones and lift up your chin. So it feels like you're doing a back bend. Keep pressing your feet towards each other. Then fold forwards, walk your hands back so your toenails and fingernails line up. Firm your abdominal muscles here, round your back. Let the muscles that run down your spine stretch.
So you're pressing your chest in between your knees. Try and distribute your weight evenly throughout the soles of both feet. We tend to put more weight in the heels in this pose, so push the toes down. Then come back up to that first position. Fingertips on the floor. Again, lift your chin, lift your two sitting bones. Squeeze your knees as straight as you can here. Then to come up, bend both knees, bring your hands onto your hips and come up to standing. Then walk your feet together and come to the short edge of your mat with your feet about hip width apart. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and up overhead. Now as you continue to do this, I hope the microphone is okay here, reach up a little bit more and grab your left wrist and lean over towards the left. Lean over to the right. Inhale, come up, grab your right wrist and lean over to the left. Squeeze your legs towards each other. Inhale, come up. Now bend both elbows so that you can put your hooked fingers around the outsides of those elbows and then again lean over to the right. Turn the bottom side ribs, the right side ribs, a little bit more forward. Come up. Do the same thing on the other side. Keep your abs engaged when you do this. Keep squeezing your legs. Left ribs forward, right ribs back. Inhale, come up and bring your hands down by your sides. Now, from here, sweep your arms up overhead again. See if you can bring your arms back a little bit more behind your ears. Raise your heart. Then bend your knees. Bring your fingertips down to the floor for Uttanasana. Possibly straighten the legs a touch more. Raise your chest and look up. Now bend your knees again quite deeply. Bring your hands by the sides of your feet and step just the left foot back, only the left foot. Bring the back knee down. Sweep your arms ahead of you again. Push both feet down to help you carry the weight of your body as you come up. Grab your left wrist and then lean over towards the right. So again, a side stretch. But this is also really helping to stretch the front of that left thigh and the left hip flexor above the thigh. So see if you can pull that left arm a little more to the right as long as it's comfortable, and keep pressing the right buttock in. Press your front foot towards the back of the mat. And as you inhale, come up. Bring both hands down to the floor. Now we're going to do a twist. Flatten the left hand. Bring the right arm out to the side and then bring your arm up. Stay with this, or turn the thumb to the back of the room and bring your hand, the back of your hand, around the left side of your waist. And then twist again and really bring that right shoulder back behind you. You can look up, across or down. Keep squeezing your bottom here. If your hand is around the side of your waist, reach it back up again. Bring your right hand down to the floor. Come onto all of your fingertips and pick up the back knee. Stay with this. Straighten the back leg, round your back. Then step forward. So you've just done a lot of work stretching the front of the left leg. Notice how both of your legs feel here in your hips in a standing forward fold position. Compare the right side to the left. Then bend both of your knees deeply. Pick up the right leg. Lengthen the leg behind you and step back as lightly as you can. Bring the back knee down. Press that front foot towards the back knee. Squeeze your bottom. And then again, bring the hands forward. Come all the way up with your arms. Lift your heart. Grab your right wrist. Inhale. And as you exhale, lean to the left. Keep pressing your front foot towards the back of the mat and dragging your right knee towards the front of the mat. Squeeze your bottom. Possibly bend that front knee a touch more. Inhale, come up. Then bring your right hand down to the floor flat with your index finger pointing straight ahead and twist. Keep pressing the left buttock in and back towards the back foot. And again, you can stay like this or bring the back of that left hand around the right side of your waist. Press the back of the hand in to help you move that top shoulder away behind you a little bit more. Then look down if you're not already. Stretch that left hand back up again if you brought it around the sideways. Bring all of your 10 fingertips to the floor, either side of your front foot, and pick up the back knee. And step forward again. Take as many steps as you need to. Then heel toe your feet right to the edges of your mat. So the little toe edges are just on the sides of your mat. If you need to bend your knees for this, do, but if you can straighten your legs, do. Then bring your left hand right underneath your face, your right arm out to the side. We're going to twist again. Bring that right arm up and press your feet towards each other. Bring the right hand down, bring the left arm out. Just mobilizing the spine a little bit more here. Bring the left hand down. Then bend your knees, sweep your arms ahead of you again. Come all the way up to standing. And then turn your palms to the side walls, bring your hands down by your sides and step your feet together. Then come into the middle of the mat so that you can see the screen. Bring your arms ahead of you and slowly bend your knees, come all the way down. Bring your hands to the floor, bring your bottom down. We're going to do the seated figure 4 that I referred to earlier. So bring your hands behind you, pick your bottom up, right leg out to the side, separate the toes, slowly bring your bottom down. If you can still see your left foot, move it a little over to the left. Then really lift your heart here. Press this right shin into the left thigh and push the the right knee a little bit more away from your shoulder. Keep raising your chest. Try not to dump down in your chest here. Keep really lifted. Then from here, keeping the figure 4 shape, come into a tabletop position. So lift your bottom up. Keep looking at the left knee and raise your chest as much as you can. This is a bit of a tricky balance here. Do the best you can. Don't let your head drop behind you. Keep looking at that right shin and really use your arms here. Grip the floor with your fingertips. Raise your heart. Press your tailbone forwards and then come all the way slowly and carefully down. Well done. Now pick your bottom up enough that you can bring the right foot down, and we'll do the other side. Left leg figure 4. Separate the toes. Move the right foot a little to the right. Bring your bottom slowly down to the floor. Push that left knee away from your left shoulder and lift your heart. So your arms are working as hard here as your legs are. Keep your legs engaged and keep your breathing steady. And then again, the tabletop variation. So pick up your bottom, grip the floor, especially if your hands are not on your mat anymore. My hands are slipping a little bit, so I'm really having to grip the floor with my fingertips, which is good. Make sure that left hip doesn't drop below the level of the right. Keep pressing the shin down, keep looking at that left shin. Raise your heart, squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other on your upper back. Then slowly come all the way down. Then pick your bottom up enough that you can take this left leg away and come into Kanasana. So the soles of your feet are together, hands on the floor behind you, like props holding you up. Press your feet together. Lift your heart. If you need to sit on something here, a rolled up blanket, or perhaps even a low block, please do. And knowing if you need to is if your knees feel really high, you sit up on something, it feels a little better. I'm going to be here for about 30 more seconds. Keep squeezing your bottom and keep raising your heart and bringing your shoulder blades towards each other on your back. So you feel your collarbones broadening and lengthening rather than coming together like this. They're opening up. This really helps with sort of everyday posture as well as kind of counteracting a quite commonly seen rounding of the back when we run and also when we're on devices. So from here, bring your knees up and we're going to twist. Lengthen the left leg long, place the right leg over the left, press this foot down, raise your chest. Now with your left hand, move the right knee a little bit over towards the right. Keep that. Pick up the right hand, bring it behind you and start to rotate around your spine. You can keep the left hand here, moving the knee over, or perhaps bring the elbow over. I quite like to move my belly out of the way a little bit here to create a little bit more space from the right to the left, and then hook down and over. Now, see if you can move the left ribs around forward and the right ribs back. And then even look out at the right corners of your eyes as you turn your head perhaps a little more. This isn't so much about the neck though, this is more about getting mobility in your spine from the navel up to the base of your neck. So turn your shoulders perhaps that touch more. Then release that left hand, turn your chest back to center, and we'll twist the other way. Lengthen the right leg, bend the left, push this foot down firmly, keep this right leg straight and strong. Bring the right hand onto the knee, gently guide it over, bring the left hand behind you, again lift your heart, and then start to twist that touch more. And again, the right hand can stay holding onto the knee, or perhaps the elbow comes around. You don't have to bring the elbow around. If it feels awkward, then don't do it. See if you can turn the shoulder girdle, the upper back, a little bit more. Keep really upright here. Try not to lean back. Then take the right hand away, twist back to center, lean back, bring both of your feet to the floor, then grab your block and put it behind you on the lowest setting. You can do this with a book or a rolled up yoga mat or a rolled up blanket, doesn't have to be a block. And place the bottom tips of your shoulder blades onto the block. Interlace your fingers so that you make a hammock for your head. Place your hands just at the upper neck here and let the weight of your head drop into your hands and let your elbows come down towards the floor. And even press your elbows down gently throughout this 1 minute hold. Keep your knees bent, keep your feet on the floor. If you know this pose and you've done it many times, feel free to up level the block. I find the lowest level, especially after just having done a run, which I have just done, the lowest level is enough. Now use this opportunity to breathe smoothly and deeply again. Slightly raise your chin so that you feel that your throat is open. Keep pressing your elbows down. Notice the difference between your shoulders. You may well have one slightly tighter than the other. Try and relax that tight side. Don't force that elbow down, but let gravity gently and kindly open up that shoulder joint. Our shoulders are so often very complexly tight. You need to be gentle whilst opening them. Don't force anything. Okay, then from here, lift up your head, look towards your knees, take your hands away, and then roll over onto one side enough for you to take away the block. Come back down again, and then bring the block in between your hands like this, or the book or the blanket, it doesn't matter, whatever it is, and then bring it behind you. Straighten your arms as much as you can, and you might be able to slide your hands down a little bit more so that your thumbnails are on the floor, and then push the block away. And from here, lengthen one leg long and then the other leg long, and push your heels away from you. Squeeze your legs. You're trying to create more distance between the soles of your feet and your fingertips here. Push, 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 long, long, long. Even press your tailbone towards your heels. And pick up the block with straight elbows. Bring the block all the way up and then down onto your thighs, and then move it away. Bend both knees so that you're preparing here for bridge pose. So bring the soles of your feet to the floor. Separate your feet to hip width apart. Push your feet down. Lift up your hips. Interlace your fingers underneath your lower back. Walk your arms towards each other and straighten them as much as you can as you press the little finger edges of your hands down. Pick up that bridge a little higher. Parallel your thighs, so you'll probably need to move your legs a little closer to each other. Keep the feet in place and push your tailbone towards your knees so you really lengthen out the lower back. Breathe steadily, lift your heart. Then release your hands, lower the bridge, separate your arms, land your tailbone as close to your heels as you can, then pick up both of your knees, put your left hand over the left knee, the right hand over the right, and draw your knees in towards your shoulders. Then do a couple of big circles with your feet here so that your ankles get the chance to really mobilize. And then make circles in the other direction. Big, slow circles. Really feel the crickling that's going on there, and hopefully the crickling will go down a little bit each time you circle. And let your feet relax and be still. Possibly draw the knees in that touch more, just to lengthen out the lower back a little bit more. And bring your feet down to the floor. Shavasana, lengthen one leg long, and then the other leg. Just 1 minute here, so make it a really good relaxation from the get-go. Make sure your body is symmetrical, your arms and legs an equal distance away from the center of your body. Relax your arms, relax your face, close your eyes, and rest. It's really important. When you're doing a lot of physical activity, running, yoga, everyday life tasks, and so on, that you find time at least once in a day, and that's not a bedtime, to rest and reboot. In the way that you think if you've got a pet, cat or a dog or whatever it may be, they play, and then they rest. You instinctually know. So let yourself really soften here. Now, if you can stay a little longer in Shavasana, please roll over onto one side and stop this video from playing and lie back down again in Shavasana. Or if you're coming out with me, bend your knees one leg at a time. Roll over onto your right side. Keep lying on your side. Rest your head on your upper arm or on a pillow. Then press down with your left hand, then your right hand to bring yourself up to sit. Sit cross-legged or kneeling, however you prefer. Close your eyes and sit tall. Bring your hands into your heart. Lower your chin so it touches your fingertips. Release your hands, bring your palms down onto your legs. Lift your chin and open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you. Thanks for practicing with me, and do keep coming back to this. You don't have to do it straight after running. It can be done any time during the week. Try and do it at least 3 or 4 times. It's a short sequence and nice and complete for your back. It's got twists, it's got side bends, it's got hip openers and shoulder openers. So it's a really good go-to class. And even if you're not a runner, it doesn't matter. This is just a really good way to keep mobilized and to keep strong with very, very simple yoga poses. I hope that you enjoyed it. Take care.